Welcome back programmers. In the today's section I am going to show you how you can create a streaming website using the Vue.js. So let's begin. First of all, I am obviously going to create a new project. So just open your favorite directory and create a new project. I am using the Vue 5.0.4 for this project. So now let's create a new project. You can name it whatever you want. Just write Vue, create and the name of their project. Then just click on the enter. Now I am using the npm and I named it Vue Stream. Now I'm going to choose the Vue 3. So as you can see, I just created the Vue Stream project. Now let's open your IDE and open the project there. I'm using the PyCharm. You can use whatever IDE you want. So now let's run the server. And for that, just write npm run serve. So this is my welcome page of the Vue.js. Now what I'm going to do, I am going to just simply go on the apps.vue, and obviously I don't need all of this right now, so I'm going to remove it. I don't need this data, so simply just remove the templates data, and obviously we have to remove this imported hello world, and let's also remove this component and also remove the styles. So this is the empty project, and let's simply print the hello AIOC in here. So now let's see how our project is. So as you can see, we got hello AIOC. It means our project is working perfectly fine. Okay, so now let's start coding. The first one, we need the front-end UI. So what I am simply going to do, I am first creating a simple basic UI, which I will change it later for the responsive part. First we are simply going to open the camera and stream it, and even you can download the captured image. So let's begin. So first what I need is, we need to create a div, and you can name it whatever. I am going to name the class web camera container. Then we have to create a new div for the button, and I'm going to name it camera button. Now we are going to use these classes in the ladder for the responsive part. Now in here we are again going to create an element. Now obviously, because we created the class camera button, obviously we are going to create a button to open the camera obviously. Now the type of the button will be obviously simple button, and the class will be button is rounded. Now I'm going to use this class later, but till now let's just focus on this button. Now this is nothing but this simple button. Now what I will do is that I will create a two span for open the button, or you can say open the camera and close the camera, and even you can directly write your code here, or you can create a new line for that. So let's create a span, and in here I will simply write open camera, or I can write close camera. So this is it. We just created the two span. One is for open the camera and two is the close the camera. Now let's see how our UI is looking. As you can see, we got open camera and close the camera. Now we will change the text later. We are simply going to put an condition. If the camera is opened, then show this span, but if the camera is closed, then show this span. This is the very simple. Okay, so now let's create another div. Now this div is for camera loading, and for that I am going to use a class camera loading. That's it. Now in under this div, as you can see, I am simply putting an loader circle li, and li, means these three dots for the loading purposes, which will you understand later. Okay, now this is the important part. Now let's create an actual frame box, or you can say camera box. So I'm going to name it class camera box. Now inside this div I will create one div for the camera shutter, and I'm going to simply just pass class camera shutter, and that's it for now. Now let's create an captured video, means our actual footage will show in here, and that's why I'm using the video tag, and that's it. Now I can pass the autoplay, which will allows us to start recording without touching anywhere. And in the end, let's create a canvas for our video. Okay, so that's important part of our streaming because we will show our every frame in here. So now let's move on. And then I created these two div. Now the first one is for camera shoot, which I will use whenever I click on this button, the camera will start. And the second one is for download the image. Now remember, I just told you that whenever we click on this button, the camera will start. But remember, camera will autoplay whenever we reload the page, but it will just capture that particular frame. It means that we are capturing an image, or you can say we are taking a photo. So whenever we click on this button, we are going to freeze that frame and store it in our operating system if you click on this download button. Okay, so that's very clear. Now I'm using the camera download, and in a simple way it's a link, and I used the class is button. Now you can name whatever you want for your particular captured image. I'm just naming it my photo.jpg. This is just a temporary. So in a simple way, let me explain you again what are the divs. First one is to open the camera. This is nothing but the loader. The third one is for camera box. It means our actual live streaming will be captured in here. It means we are going to show our footage in this area, but whenever you want to capture that particular image, or you can say you wanna take a picture of yourself or whatever, you can click on this image button, and even you can download that captured image whenever you click on this div, or you can say download link. Okay, so now let's move on. So that's what is a front end part. Now let's see how our front end is looking. So as you can see, till now we have this open camera, close camera, this loader, this image for the capture, or you can say take a photo, and this download button. So whenever you click on this download button, it will download the captured image. To capture image, we just have to click on here. Okay, so that was just a front end part, or you can say HTML part. Now let's go on the JavaScript part, which is the very important. Okay, so now let's go on to the logic part. In here we are going to create a simple logic for open camera, close camera, and take a screenshot, or you can say take a photo. And for that, what we are simply going to do, first we need the data, some few variables which we can directly use whenever we want. In here we are simply going to return some of the objects. Oops, I just wrote that in here. We have to put that code in here. So this is nothing but the data, or you can say variable, which we are going to use. Now the first variable which we need is a boolean variable, is camera open. That's it. Obviously by default it will be false. Now the second variable which we need is photo taken. It means if someone clicked on that image, then is short photo, and then is loading. And the last one is the link. Now this 4 is the boolean variable which we will use. And the last one is the link which we will use later. Okay, so these are just variable which we need. So now what I am going to do, I am going to create a functions. Now to create a function, obviously we have to create the methods. In here let's create a few methods. Okay, so now let's create a toggle camera method first. Now in this method, simply we are first going to check first if the camera is opened. For that we are simply going to write if this dot is camera open. It means first we are checking if this camera is true. If is camera open is equal to true, then we can directly write the code like this. We are going to put some variables, and we are just simply changing the boolean value. Now first, if is camera open is equal to true, then change is camera open equal to false, this dot is photo taken equal to false, and this dot is shot photo equal to false. Then we are going to call this method. Now this method is nothing but to stop the camera from streaming, and which we will create later. So that's it in this if condition. But if camera is not opened, then what we are going to do? This is the important part. But if this camera is not opened, it means is camera open is equal to false, then we are going to create a camera. Obviously first we will change is camera open equal to true, and for that I am simply going to write true, and then we will create a camera object, and for that we are going to use this dot create camera element. Now obviously we are going to create this function, so this was just for checking if camera is opened or not. And obviously we have to change these values, because if camera is open, then obviously we have to change the button to stop from screaming. Okay, so this is the condition for if, and this is the condition for else for this toggle camera. Okay, so now let's create this function. Now in here what I'm simply going to do is that I'm creating this function. Inside this function we are going to create an object for our camera. So in here, so first this dot is loading is equal to true, we have to change it, because whenever we start the camera we have to start the loading. So in here I'm simply going to pass this dot is loading equal to true. That's it. We are going to change the default value to true. Okay, so now we are going to create a constant data constraint. Now constraints will be used for setting the algorithm of, or you can say setting the constraints of the browser audio and video, and for that just simply write windows dot constraint equal to audio equal to false, because this is the dictionary we have to use the colon, and video equal to true, because we only need video for now. Okay, so now we will use the navigator of javascript dot media devices. It means we are fetching all of the media devices connected to the hardware dot get user media, and we will pass these constraints, and because we need video, that is why we just pass the video true. Then just use the dot then stream equal to, then we'll first change the boolean value to is stream, this dot is stream, I just forget about what was the variable name. Okay, is loading, so I have to change it is loading equal to false, because in this point we are successfully capturing the frames from the user. Okay, so again we are going to use the this dot, this time $refs. Now if you don't know what is refs, this is an API to access the DOM element, and we can directly access dot camera dot src object equal to stream. Now this stream is nothing but the event which we are getting from this response. Okay, that's it. From this line we are successfully capturing the video from user. Now you can even put the errors, and for that you can just directly write dot catch error as the response, and this dot is loading equal to false, my browser didn't support, or this is some error. You can write anything you want, and then because I'm getting one error, because this, as you can see, we have to use this object, so that is why I'm going to just simply print errors in here. Now I'm just printing as it is as alert. Okay, so that's it. So with the use of this function create camera element, we can actually stream the footage from the hardware of the user. Okay, so now let's create another function to stop the streaming. So to stop the streaming, obviously you can create an tracks. We are again going to use this stream object, but this time we are going to get the tracks instead of stream. Now we are simply going to loop each track until it stop, and that's why we are going to use the track.stop method. So, and for that you can directly use track. For each track's response and track.stop. So that's the simple function for stop streaming. Now because we are using the stop camera stream in here, so let me just check if this spelling is correct. Okay, the variable is the same as the above because we are using this method in here. Okay, so now let's create another function, take the photo. Now in here we are simply going to just capture the image. First of all, we are going to change the variable. This dot is photo, I think photo was it, photo taken equal to true because we are changing it to true. Then we are going to create a constant variable flash timeout equal to 50. Now we are going to use this flash timeout to set the timeout. So simply just write set timeout and handler equal to this dot is photo is short photo equal to false because we are changing this to false. Is short photo, it means is someone shot the photo, then we are simply passing the flash timeout. Now in the next line we are simply checking this dot is photo taken equal to not this dot is photo taken, and then simply constant context equal to this dot refs dot canvas dot get context, means we are simply getting this whatever photo is taken from here from this canvas, and we are storing it in context, and then we are using the draw image to actually create an image, whatever image which we just created, and we are just simply storing it in context. So again let me explain you. First we are checking if this photo taken is not, then is short photo is equal to true, then we are adding a flash timeout of 50, then we are simply creating and set timeout events, and this dot is set short photo equal to false, then just pass the 50 as this flash timeout, and then in here we are providing on events, or you can send boolean events, then context equal to refs dot canvas dot get context, means simply we are getting all of the contents which we have because we just freezed this context, and which we are taking that context and we are creating an actual image using the draw image tool. Okay, so the last method is to download an image, and for that simply just create a new variable download and just get element by it, and again create a canvas and get element by it dot to data URL. Now in here we are simply first grabbing the element which is nothing but the photo taken, and we are providing the to data URL, and we are replacing it with img jpg and octet stream with the use of download set attribute of href. Now in a simple way we are first grabbing whatever canvas has and we are downloading in the operating system. Okay, so now that we completed the JavaScript part, we have to put some conditions in here. So obviously we have to start the camera somewhere because we didn't call this toggle camera function. So what you can do, you can just go on this button area, and in here in this area what you can do, you can just provide an data like this. So in a simple way what I'm simply doing in here is, first I'm using this classes if is primary. Now is primary is nothing but a class which we will change to change the style of the button. It doesn't matter, but if you want to do it you can do it, we will do it later, but for now let's just remove it. In a simple way, whenever we click on the button we are simply calling that function which is nothing but the toggle camera, this function. So in a simple way we are calling this toggle camera function whenever someone click on this button. So let's try it. Now it will not work right now, so let's first try it. Now if we click on this open camera button, so as you can see my camera just turned on, but we got this error with the browser didn't support, or there is some error, type error, cannot set the properties of undefined setting src object. So let's first solve that object. Now first of all we need to change this open camera and close camera. Now in here we are simply going to pass the if else condition. That's very simple. In here I am going to pass if not is camera open, then show this open camera. Then in the else condition I will show this v else. That's it. So let's see if it's working. Let me first reload the page. As you can see, first we got the open camera, but now if I click on this button, as you can see we got the button of the close camera. So till now it's working. Now for the loading part I will simply pass this show. We show is camera open and is camera loading, so and so I will show this loader. Okay, in the next part, first we are checking if camera is open, then we are using the v show is loading, then simply we are using the classes to change the flash is photo is short photo. Now in a simple way, if its camera is opened, then we are going to change it in here. Again, if the photo is taken, then I am changing the width and height of this video. If the photo is not taken, but if photo is taken, then the ref will be the canvas, and we will grab that canvas and store it in the OS. Then we are providing the width and the height. Then in here we are if checking if camera is open and is loading is not happening, so and so we are providing this button of this camera. Then we are going to call the function of take photos in here. Then again we are going to do the same thing in here. If photo is taken and the camera is open, then obviously we are going to call the download image button, or you can say function, and that's it. So in a simple way, first we are checking if the photo is taken and the camera is open, then we are simply calling this download image button, and in here if the camera is loading and if camera is open, then we are calling this take photo function, and in here we are simply changing the classes and the width and the height if is photo is taken and if photo is not taken, and so on. So if you go on this website, as you can see we didn't got anything. It means all of the other content is disappeared because we put the condition there. So we just got this simple button, but if we click on it, so now let's just run the camera, and for that just click on this open camera, and boom, we got the camera running. So as you can see the width and the height of this canvas, and we got this button, so we can actually capture the image. Now let me just put my hand in here, so I want to show you that this is live. My camera is kind of sucks, so that's why it's taking too much time, but if your camera is good, so it will work perfectly fine. So let's just capture. So let me just click on here. So that's it, or image is just captured, as you can see. So you can either download it from here, or we got this download button. So if you click on it, it will work perfectly fine. As you can see, we got this image. Now what is simply happening in here is that we are putting a lots of condition for each element, for each function. Now even you can change the width and the height. So let's change it. So in here I'm simply just going to write 720 and 1080. So the resolution will be 1080 into 720. So now let's just click on here. So as you can see, the width and height is kind of changed. Now let's change it again. Now this time I'm going to write 1018, 80 and 720. So now let's try this. So in here let's try again, and yes, it's kind of big. So that is how you can change the width and height. But the thing is that whenever you click in here, it will change it to its original size, and if you go on the download, the image will be on the original size. Now to change this thing, it's by default because it depends on your camera. You can change the frame width and height, but you can change the original width and height of the camera. Even you can try to change it from here, but it's kind of a tricky part, or you can say you have to experiment on this part. So that is it for today's guys. Now I hope you understand how this works. In the next video I'm going to create this website responsive if I got enough likes and comments in this video. So this is the way to stream your camera using the Vue.js. So that is it for today's guys. See you guys in the next video, but till then you have to subscribe my YouTube channel and learn about my different video. All of the video is available in my all-in-one code.com website and with the source code. Even you can ask any question about that. It's kind of a community there, so I highly suggest you to check out my website. Link is in the description. So that is it for today's guys. See you guys in the next video. Till then, just code.